Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lizzie, and for today's video, we are doing another one of the top 50 horror movie scratch-offs. So, continuing on, if you haven't seen the previous videos that I've done for this, make sure you go ahead and catch up on those. I believe this is going to be our 6th video. So if you don't know how this works already, little stack of scratch-offs. If you're on Horror Talk, you've probably seen it on there. But we grab one of these cards, scratch it off, and it decides what movie we're watching. So I'm gonna go ahead, have our stack here. Little explanation card, have the ones that I've already done on the bottom. So again, if you haven't seen one of these videos yet, I like to go through and just shuffle until it feels right. So, okay, go with that one. So this one says R, so exciting, 2004, 103 minutes mystery thriller. So 2004, I'm not sure. Ooh, maybe, no, I'm not sure, but we'll go ahead. Again, you'll learn very quickly. I'm not great at these. I'm never good at figuring out what they are. I think the only one I knew right away was Scream. Bottom of the box. Okay. Oh. Duh. Should have known. Right away we have Jigsaw there. It's the first Saw movie? So, yep. James Wan's Saw. Which I have, of course, reviewed this film probably multiple times. I did do an entire series of reviewing the Saw films, so I'm not gonna do this one. I am gonna skip. I will leave a link so that you can watch all things Saw. If you want to see me talk about this film, I apologize. I said the same thing with Scream. I'm not reviewing those ones. I've already done it on this channel. If you're not new here, you know I love the Saw franchise, so I love this film, but I will leave a link if you want to see my full opinions on it. Drop the Saw one there. Okay, so it's probably why it chose that one, because it sensed that I would like that one. Okay, so I dropped one. We'll go ahead and we'll just go with the one that I dropped. Okay, so this one says rated R, 2017, 104, so about the same amount of minutes. Psychological thriller mystery comedy. So this one gave us 4 words. Let me think. 2017. I'm trying to think what came out in 2017. Psychological thriller mystery comedy. So I don't think it's gonna be it. I think did we already pull it? I don't think so, but comedy. I'm trying to think. Again, I'm so bad at this. So okay, let's go ahead. We'll just scratch it off. Y'all can take your guesses. Okay, I see the top of a head. Is it Get Out? I didn't think Get Out counted as a comedy. It is. I guess it kind of is a comedy. Yep. Okay. Was not expecting that at all. We have Get Out. I obviously have seen this film. I think I reviewed this one on the channel before, but it's been a minute, so I'm really interested to rewatch this one and let you guys know what my thoughts are on it. See if it's still, I'm sure it still holds up, but yeah, let's go ahead and rewatch Get Out.
Do you smoke in front of my daughter?
I'm gonna quit.
She'd take care of that for you.
How?
Hypnosis.
I'm good, actually.
Sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
It's a terrible thing to waste. Terrible thing to waste.
Okay, so just got done with rewatching Get Out, and I, for starters, really enjoyed this film this time. I think the first time that I watched this film was very similarly. I watched it at home. This is another one that I missed in theaters, and I think the first time I watched it, I wasn't truly as invested in watching it at the time as I was this time around. I really focused in on it. I think going into this one, I knew a lot more context for the film, and also sometimes when you've seen a film and you already know how it ends, it can be a lot of fun to rewatch it and kind of try to pick up on things, especially a film like this with so much context to kind of everything that goes on in the film, and with such a shocking ending upon the first time watching it, that when you're rewatching it, again, it's really enjoyable to try to kind of like pick up on things throughout the film that maybe you don't notice the first time. So I think that's another reason why I was really zoned in on this film. It is obviously a lot of commentary on the world and on the Black experience, which are obviously things as a white woman I cannot begin to understand or even really truly comment on, but as a horror film, it is really good. There is a lot of tension throughout this film, which I've talked about many a time on my channel, that slow burn is not generally my jam, but this film does such a good job with the tension throughout it, and just the vibe of the film being completely off even from the very opening scene. Even the moments that don't necessarily seem like they would be tension-filled or creepy. When we first meet them in Chris's apartment, they're getting ready to go visit Rose's family, and it's revealed that Rose has not told Chris that he's Black, and you know, he obviously has a lot more hesitation, and it's not even something that she, as a white woman, considered to even think about for Chris. There's moments like that, and I'm going so bad at doing these introductions. Really going truly into this review with the idea that you have seen this film. It's been out for a while. If you're watching this, either you're a subscriber, or you've most likely seen this film. So if you don't know what this film is about, I apologize, but it follows the story of this character, Chris, who is a Black man dating this white woman, Rose, and like I said, they are going to visit her family, and when they get there, her parents are seemingly pretty nice, but there's this big party event that's happening that weekend, and things are just kind of weirding off throughout the entire party. We meet several other Black characters in the film, people that work for the family, which again isn't something that Rose bothered to bring up. Upon watching this film, and especially if you're watching it for the first time, it's kind of like, why does she not think to bring these things up to Chris? Like, wouldn't those things be important for him to know before getting there? Obviously, when things are revealed towards the end of the film, it makes sense as to why she's not considerate of any of that. Again, this film is really good at building up the tension throughout everything, even just the tension between characters. I mean, there's tension between Chris and Rose's brother, who, when you're just viewing the film without knowing anything, he just kind of seems like a bit of an asshole who makes offhanded, slightly racist comments towards Chris. And even kind of the same thing with Rose's parents, as far as like going too overly top to not seem racist, that they then end up being a bit racist. Again, there's this big party scene where, of course, most of the guests, the crowd, is a bunch of older, rich white people who, again, are making what they feel like is seemingly innocent comments, but definitely not towards Chris throughout the party scene. But then as we meet some of the other Black characters, like I mentioned, there's some that work for Rose's family, as well as a quite young guy who is married to this much older white lady, and his character is very like off, and Chris can just tell that there's just something odd going on, and because we're seeing a lot of what's going on from kind of like Chris's POV almost, again, it builds up a lot of really good tension. And so the kind of general almost slow burn of the film really isn't that much of a slow burn, which is why I feel like I really was able to be like drawn in and enjoy this film, because where it normally would almost seem like a slow burn, the tension built throughout the film is done really, really well. And honestly, like for a film that was Jordan Peele's like first like writer-director debut, especially like a horror film, it is so well done. And obviously, like I said, he comes from kind of like a comedy background. He obviously has been in the business for a very long time. It was just, I think when this film came out and a lot of people were really hesitant about the fact that this guy who is known very well for his comedy was going to be making a horror film, and pretty much like blew everybody out of the water, and he's really become like a horror icon of his own, deservingly. There is obviously like some comedy in the film. Like I said at the beginning of this, I didn't really think of it as a comedy. I still don't. I mean, there are comedic moments within this film, especially with the character of Rod, Chris's best friend. He's kind of the comic relief moment throughout the film. I said I really enjoyed rewatching this one. I definitely think it's gonna be one that I'm gonna, you know, put in my regular cycle of like rewatch films, because I really enjoyed it. I was able to find it on YouTube. I know it is on HBO Max if you have a subscription. I very recently canceled my HBO subscription because I just have too many and I didn't feel like I was using it. So of course, it's on there if you have it, but I just ended up renting it through YouTube. And I did see one person on Letterboxd, because like I said before, I like to kind of go on there and see what people are saying. And I liked that one person, which this review is really easy to find. It's at like the top. You just go on there. But they pointed out the parallels within the characters' deaths, which I didn't even really notice, which is that you have the brother who, like I said, he at dinner he had made some kind of offhanded comments towards Chris. He talks about being this big like sports fanatic. He even kind of tries to like can get Chris to like wrestle with him. He ends up dying being wrestled by Chris. The father goes on this spiel when we pretty much like first meet him about like loving seeing dead deer, that they're like an invasive species, and he ends up getting impaled by the head of a deer. And the mother, who is the one who's doing all the kind of manipulation to Chris and the other characters, she ends up getting killed in her office. And then Rose, the girlfriend, the one who, you know, has brought all of this upon Chris, she ends up being left dead on the side of the road, very much like Chris's mother was, who was killed in a hit and run. And I didn't even realize that, and I thought that was very interesting parallels with their deaths, which is just another like mind-blowing moment in this film. And I feel like I obviously can't end this review without talking about a couple of things. Firstly, going along with the characters, the character of Rose herself, the way that even upon rewatching this, it's so hard. I don't want to say it's so hard to believe that she would be like that, but you watch this film and she, even just as the character of Rose, does such a good job of acting and manipulating not only Chris, but even Chris's best friend, even the other people around them, even us, like as a viewer. She is so good at pretending to give a shit about Chris, even like down towards the very end. And I always remember there was an interview with the actress that plays Rose, Allison Williams, who said when this film first came out, and she said that there were a lot of people questioning whether or not her character was actually evil, and people being like, oh no, like there's no, like she had to have been like brainwashed, she had to have also been manipulated, and she was like, no, like she actually is this horrible person, like that's the point, and that's like the point of her character. And so that always sticks in my head, along with the character of Stephen Root, the artist, is played by Jim Hudson. He is a character who I did forget about his part in all of this. That part was a bit of a shock, which I'm sure upon watching this for the first time it was as well, because he is a character that we are meant to, again, really like. He's one of the only kind of characters that Chris really kind of connects to. He is this art dealer who talks about how he knows who Chris is. So what happens towards the end of the film, or almost happens, really traumatic. It's like he purposefully, it feels as though he purposefully like chose Chris to be the next like victim, even though there's like a whole bidding situation. He obviously wins, but it definitely feels like Chris was chosen purposefully for this character, which is, again, makes it even more like, makes the whole situation even sadder, and even like more frustrating, because he's one of, again, like the only characters in this film that seems almost normal in comparison to everybody else involved. And yeah, just the reveal of this film, obviously, if you haven't seen it, big old spoiler warning ahead. It has been revealed that this family, through using their daughter to bring in black people, both men and women, through faking relationships with them, bringing them home to meet the family, and then using the mother's ability to hypnotize them and kind of paralyze them. The father, who is a neurosurgeon, then performs surgery. He replaces the brains of these young black people with the brains of these old rich white people, and in part the, you know, brains of the young people there's still part of them there, so that's why throughout the film, especially when Chris's phone camera like flashes, we see those characters have like little moments of breakthrough, where they almost kind of remember who they are for a moment. We don't see it, but it's very obvious, especially upon rewatching this, that the mom hypnotizes them, so that they, you know, completely forget any aspect of who they were in their own life. And it's a pretty crazy reveal. I remember definitely being like lucky enough to not have it completely ruined for me the first time that I watched this film, and so I remember that being like, what the fuck moment, because obviously, again, you know, something weird's kind of going on, and that was an interesting thing upon rewatching this. Like I said, getting to kind of see getting to try to like pick up on different aspects throughout the film, but I will say, like, I did kind of forget all of the details of like exactly what it is that they did, so that was a bit of a like surprise again still, and yeah, it's definitely a terrifying ending for sure, and definitely a terrifying, crazy film that I really enjoyed upon rewatching it. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are on it. Get out in the comments below. I hope that you did enjoy this review. I know it's a little all over the place, but anyway, if you did, please give it a big old thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for more spooky and horror-related content, and I will see you all again later with another video. Bye.